Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. I wanted to do a follow-up to my international cards video. Um, as I was recording that video, I actually mentioned that there was probably several I was missing from cards that I had in my collection that I just simply failed to pull. And so I did some thinking, and I found 5 more that I think I can, at least with some liberal interpretation, add to that list. So that would give me 15. But yeah, I had one comment that said, "I've got a Cuban card." And I said, Cuban cards, of course. So I do have several from this set. I'm sure there's other Cuban issued that were escaping me at this point. So maybe if you have Cuban issued cards that are not from this set, I think this is probably the most common among collectors that have Cuban cards. So there's quite a few in this set. There's Ruth. There's a Musial kind of pre-rookie card. Those are both obviously pretty big cards. There's a Cobb. I don't have the Cobb just yet. There's a Gehrig. So there's a lot of players that are kind of post playing time or even like pre rookie. So there's really interesting cases. Ted obviously falls kind of right in the prime of his career, between military service and everything else. This is kind of and really just no sets being printed. This is kind of a dead time. So picking up a card that's 46, 47 time frame of Ted Williams is super cool. And again, these are super fragile, thin, delicate cards. So typically you see backs destroyed, borders rough, authentic altered probably just from being destroyed and handled, and they are insanely thin to hold in your hand. So that makes perfect sense that would be destroyed. This other one is one I picked up fairly recently, and when you talk Satchel Paige, you really only have, everyone kind of thinks of those big 3, but then you also throw in the exhibit card, which I love the exhibit card. And then this, at least that branches you out to maybe 5 kind of fun, cool options for Satchel Paige. But this one was on eBay. It was a interesting one. There's one raw one out there, and there's now another graded one offered. So there's 2 out there, but the population of these is very, very low. In the dozens, not even in the hundreds, I'm pretty sure. So it's a 1972. I'm going to cheat. I'm going to say it's Puerto Rican League, so I'm going to kind of count that as a Puerto Rico contribution, but in reality, it does say it's printed in Spain, which is, so I don't know if you count where it's printed or where it's representing the league from. And obviously this is post-playing days, but for me, I just think that's a really, really neat image and a way to get a Satchel Paige card that is, or in this case sticker, but maybe I just say item, that is a little bit unique and rare and kind of fun. So let me clear those out. That's 2 more. Next one is going to be a little bit of a liberal interpretation as well, only because there's a little bit of debate as to where they were actually issued, but they were intended at the very least to be Middle Eastern releases and actually sent to troops overseas. So that was the intention. That was the design of what this should have been for where they're released. These are, and again, if you're a junk wax person, kind of a good way to get something from that era that would have some additional scarcity. It is crazy to see the populations. They're actually still, even though they're released overseas, there's just so many printed in this era. They look exactly like a regular card. It's just they were released for no cost. And to make it, to the Middle East during wartime, and then to make it back to the States and be in fairly good condition. I don't have either one of them graded, but 2 of the players I grew up really, really enjoying watching. Maddox, obviously dominant, top whatever pitcher you want to call him, and David Cone, that I will always campaign he should be in the Hall of Fame. He's got quite the resume if you really look at it. but those two I figured were worth picking up just to get something a little more scarce. And these can go for some pretty serious dollars, given that they're so modern. How do they look compared to the regular issue? Pretty much identical, except for that extra stamp on there. So that's how you can tell that it is truly from the Desert Shield set. All right, next few, I'm going to head back kind of more modern overseas. Maybe the one would actually classify as vintage, depending on your definition, but this one would not. So that is a Spain issue, Michael Jordan. But great image. 2.5. I mean, maybe there's a little bit of creasing or something like that to the sticker, but it's a Spanish issue, so I would count that as my Spain if I cheated and counted my other one as being Puerto Rico, not Spain, but count that however you want. Maybe I cheated, maybe I didn't. But that is really cool images. These are not huge dollars, especially for the year they are. We're talking about an 86, 87 Jordan. I mean, that's probably the price sells for similar price to his Fleer sticker. And actually not even from that year. That'd be like a rookie year Fleer. So this is way discounted, but what a cool image. So fun, unique item. Not, again, not lunch money, but not huge. And then the last one is a little bit of a, pun intended, bigger card. 19, somewhere between 77 and 80. I'm not sure where we're going to count this even, but it's literally a big card. And that's these Sportscaster monster issues. So they are literally huge, but super neat. I picked up several from that, actually. There's a lot of kind of retro. You can get a Jim Thorpe and Babe Ruth and players like that are way into retirement and passed away, or you can get into again, kind of like this. This is sort of a pre-rookie rookie type era for Bird. So it shows him in Indiana State, and I'm sure all of you can read the back of this. This is a Finnish card, so from Finland. At the bottoms, they usually talk about where they're printed somewhere, but they're released in several different languages and countries. So this is a really, if you're a hardcore player collector, this is a neat way to grab some unique images, really huge write-ups. I do not know what this says, except I'll show you how I cheat and can find out. But that's a nice clean, that's a 7. I don't know that these really come in too terrible of condition because of how they're made. They're enormous, and then they're actually pretty durable. It seems like it'd be easy to crease, but it seems like these are fairly durable too. Kind of paper stock, but really neat. So I picked that up. When it comes to basketball, I definitely am a huge Larry Bird fan, which is funny because I really wasn't growing up, but as I got to be a little bit older, I really appreciated his skill. He's from Indiana, so I'm always going to be biased towards that. But just what a talent. And I usually don't like arrogant, kind of, cocky, trash-talking players, but he was just so classic. He almost was entertainment as much as anything, and so I have been kind of drawn to just his swagger and what he did in the league, and his talent is ridiculous. Passer, rebounder, and obviously scorer and shooter is just off the charts. So not the same card. This is the Italy version. They date this as 77 to 79, so I guess they just went from like modern to vintage. I'm not sure quite how that would cross over when it's almost the same issue, but exact same image, different issue. And thankfully, this is from Italy, but it is printed in English, so that's how I can cheat and know what the other one says, because I believe the write-ups are exactly the same. I could be lying to you because I can't prove the one in Finish says exactly this, but I would imagine it does, and everything I've researched kind of says that it would. So there's another offering up for you. The Sportscaster series is awesome. Like I said, there's a Gretzky, there's the Bird, there's Magic. So there's a few of the big like pre-rookie type guys. These, I've got the 1 and a 7, the 1 and a 5. They're a decent investment. Every so often they come up for auction where you can get a little bit better deal. The buy it nows tend to be a little on the steep side, but is what it is. They're somewhat scarce. So if you're looking for alternatives to kind of play or collect, those are definitely fun options. So that's all I've got. I just wanted to add those extra 5 in. That was bugging me. The minute I feel like I have a video that's not complete, I want to add something back in. So if you're looking for older, we've got 40s, we've got some 70s, and then I've got several things that were a little more modern, but kind of a fun way to add to the collection and add some flavor and some international scarcity and rarity and just some unique images. So hopefully that gets me up to 15. Keep those ideas coming. What else you got for international? And if you have videos on anything, please share a link in the comments as well. I always like to be able to track things down, so it's fun to see what other people have contributed as well. So hopefully that's good. I will see you on the next one, and have a good day. Thanks.